I'm Johnson.
And I'm Mike from Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast.
And you're listening to the Sci-Fi Sisters podcast.
Hi, everybody. This is Subrina from Sci-Fi Sisters, and we have got a special show for you. We are so excited. We just raced around. We don't even have all of our sisters because we were trying to get this show done so fast. Mm-hmm. I'm here tonight with our favorite sister, Yvette Blackman Tom.
I'm a favorite now. Hello.
Yeah, because you're the only sister that could show up.
I love it.
And we have, again, our friends from Deep Space Pride. Oh, man, I'm so psyched you guys could jump in and help us out with this. But go ahead. It is Mike from Deep Space Pride, and we also have Johnson from Deep Space Pride. Say hello, you guys.
Hey.
Hi. Great to be here. It's always great to hang out with you ladies. So
It's been a while.
We don't see each other enough, honestly.
We really don't.
No, and I love your show, and I'm so glad you could join us for this because, man, that last episode dropped, and we were all on the text message. We were slacking out, like, what?
So Mike wanted to mute all the messages because he didn't want to be spoiled.
Yeah,
so
I had to mute.
I had to mute eventually, yeah. But
yeah.
So we're here tonight without Fran and without Tamia, you guys. So we're missing our sisters, but we're going to carry on because we want to get this show out to you. So the show tonight, we're going to tell you what we loved, what we hated, what we didn't give a fig about of the last episode, the last season of Picard. What else would we be talking about?
Because that's what everybody else is talking about.
Everybody's talking about it. People that don't even like Star Trek are talking about it.
This is true. Yeah, we can't even get the showrunner to stop talking about it.
Oh my gosh. You know what though? I am happy for them. So we four are here tonight, gonna talk about what we loved about Picard. What we didn't give a fig about. All right, so I'm going to start it off with our guest because I'm dying to hear what Johnson thought about
me.
Yes,
you may regret that.
No.
And I'm going to ask you to please state whether you are a true TNG fan before you state what you thought about Picard, and then tell us what you thought. I just want to know where are you coming from when you make this statement.
So not to spoil the beans, but Mike and I are both big TNG fans. We grew up with it. I think our favorite is probably still DS9, but we grew up with TNG, so I think we're both big TNG fans at heart. That was definitely my first exposure to Trek before I got into everything else. So definitely, it has a place in my heart forever and ever until I die. So, and they burn my body. But for sure, yes, big TNG fan.
Okay, I love it. Okay, yeah. Mike, where you stand on this? You're just like Johnson. You're saying you're both that way.
Yeah, I grew up with TNG. So, I mean, I saw the original series on reruns, but in 1987, I was 14, just like Will Wheaton, and I grew up with Captain Picard and the Enterprise D. So these last couple of episodes gave me lots of chills. So yeah, but DS9 is also a huge favorite of mine as well. So
that's why you got invited to the show. Said the magic words. All four of us say DS9 is our favorite show.
Amazing.
All right, Yvette, let's clarify. We all know. Everybody listening to the Sci-Fi Sisters knows where Yvette stands on DNG.
Oh, no.
Well, my favorite show is DS9. It is my heart. It is my ringtone. It was the face on my watch. It is everything to me. TNG. So I like to, don't get me wrong. So TNG it's weird with TNG with me. I like it. I don't say I love it, but I appreciate it. There are some really, really good episodes. I mean, my favorite Star Trek episode is a TNG episode. Yeah. But I just wouldn't call TNG my favorite Trek.
Wait, which one's that? What episode?
Cause and Effect.
That's your favorite Star Trek episode
yes.
ever?
My favorite Star Trek episode ever.
Oh, I didn't know that. I love Cause and Effect. I don't know.
It is done very, very well. It never ages. It is so good.
It's a good episode.
Yeah, it's a very good episode. So it's complicated, just like all my relationships.
See, it's 2 against 2. Another TNG were like, nah. No, I like that says you have to love TNG because that was the show that brought Star Trek back, and all of that, and love the the Enterprise D. It's great, but it was I'm an original series fan. That's my original Star Trek. So there was nothing that was ever going to be as good as the real Star Trek, but. So but I was really happy that the show came back. I was happy to hear that Patrick Stewart was coming back and doing Picard. I was excited when the whole announcement came out, and it was just a little. My phone is talking. It was just a little sad to see season 2. But season 1 came on.
Word? We going with sad?
I was like, wow, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I was anxious for season 3, and I think that I can't wait to hear what everybody thought about it. So I'm going to kick this off right away. I'm going to go right to Mike first. And Mike, tell us what was your favorite thing about this season?
I would have to say, well, I have 2, but I'll start with the more probably relevant one is that I really loved the relationship between Picard and Riker in this whole season. They are really fantastic father figures, I think, at least for me. And just really they are kind of my heroes, the people that I look to as like really high standards. Riker's a family man, or became a family man. Picard was always about honor and justice and things like that. So seeing them together and it just from the start felt comfortable. It felt, like 2 best friends picking up and going on this adventure together. And that was great. And then, so that was one of my favorite things. Beverly is also my other favorite character in this series. I mean, it's so great to see her in in every, I think she was in all 10 episodes. But she was fantastic. She looks great. Johnson and I call her our space mom, because she was, she was the first mom that we saw on TV that we kind of like grew up with. And, they didn't do justice to her in the series in the way that, they did justice to Ben Sisko in Deep Space Nine as a father. And I kind of wish that if we could go back in time, that's the one thing I wish we could redo about TNG is having Beverly be more of a mother figure and really lean into that. And here we get episodes. And so I really loved that as well. And on top of that, if I had a third thing, it would be the music. I cannot wait till Thursday, till the soundtrack comes out. I will be listening to it on repeat for a long time. So those are my favorite things about this season of Picard.
All right. I love that you think Riker is a family man. That is so like, wow, what a turnaround from.
When he said that,
I was like, Riker's a family man.
I don't see.
That's well in Picard.
What
he's
Star
the
Trek
family
were you
man.
watching?
Yeah.
I
definitely
remember TNG Riker.
Right.
I remember the one who brought the game.
Listen.
He was definitely the Kirk of the next generation.
He thought he was Kirk.
He thought he was Kirk.
So I'm gonna keep going with you, Yvette. What was your favorite? Yeah, come on, pull a favorite thing out of there. Come on, you can do it.
So there was tons of favorite. My favorite. So I had a lot of favorites. I was really happy that Rafi and Seven were back because I do enjoy both of them. Especially I love Rafi, but the most famous, my most favorite part, I'm sure Subrina knows, is that Beverly was on this, and she was the first person we saw when she came on. She was, Beverly, I told you I have a complicated relationship with TNG. So Beverly is my favorite character, mainly because she reminds me of me, especially when I was I had just gotten divorced, got my own house, was raising my children, and, had moved up in positions at my job. And it was I wasn't really watching TNG. It had come on BBC. I think it was on like all the time. And I was, like ironing, getting ready for the next day. And I would always listen to it in the background. And that's when I finally was like, wow, Beverly's pretty cool. I was like, let me listen. And I'm listening. I wasn't really watching, and I'm listening to all the things that, she actually did do, and kind of got glossed over when you watch it. And the fact that she was the smartest kid's mom. And also she was pretty much the smartest one in the room. And I was like, it's like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be Wonder Woman, and like Charlie's Angels, but I didn't look up to them. I kind of wanted to just, be like them. I want to be a superhero and everything. But with Beverly, it was like, wow, this person is just like me. Like what I'm going through right now, TNG was on when I was already an adult. I was already in college. So, I didn't look up to any of those people, but when I, later on, it just hit me that, wow, there is somebody on Star Trek that's like me, and I'm like, wow, she might not look like me, but we're definitely going through the same things, and honestly, I'm in a male dominated field. So there were no other women, and there rarely is any other women in my jobs. So it was pretty cool. And I've, loved her since, and was always, like you said, Mike, just kind of devastated when the movies came out that, as I look back, I'm like, wow, was Beverly even in the movies? Because when I go back, I'm like, wait, she was in this movie? I always remember her being in First Contact, but I never remembered her being in any of the other movies. So when they brought her back and they gave her a nice juicy role, I was very excited. That I was excited before it even came on. So it was good. I liked her role, in it. So it made me want to keep going back and see what they were going to do with her.
Yeah, you gotta love Beverly.
Yeah,
gotta love her, Beverly.
And he did it too.
He did.
He did do it.
Loved it.
I was like, say it,
please say it. Okay, Johnson, what was your favorite thing about the series?
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but definitely the Beverly angle. I think for me, and I've talked about this in a previous Deep Space Pride episode, Beverly is probably my favorite character from TNG. For me, it was more about her brain, less so about her relationship with Wesley and her role as a mom, but she was kind of the resident scientist and resident biologist. And I just really resonated with that, and that kind of really spurred my own interest in science. And I just really admired her when it came to just how she problem solved, and how when she did save the day, it was through science. I really appreciated that. And similar to what you have all been saying, she just didn't really get the kind of roles that she should have really gotten on TNG. So when I found out that she was going to be given a big role on Picard season 3, I got really excited. So definitely for me, Beverly, it was a big component of what I really liked about this season. I think the other thing that I would really say about this season is really the idea around chosen family, which obviously is a really big theme both biological family and chosen family. And obviously Terry Matalas is a huge fan of All Good Things, which obviously the last episode is all about. And All Good Things is probably my favorite finale of all the series, because everything just comes together. And for Picard, for better for worse, it takes him this whole time to kind of realize, this is his family. And I think he basically learns the same lesson here, like over the course of the season. And he obviously comes to terms with both his Star Trek family, but then also his biological one. I do question, like, where's Laris? Laris has disappeared.
She knew that was over from the beginning.
R.I.P. Laris, whatever. They got rid of her.
She knew she wasn't coming back.
Yeah, she was bye, girl.
He was racing off to go to get another woman.
Right.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
But and obviously the respect for All Good Things. Terry Matalas basically just pretended season 2 didn't happen because we got this post-credit scene of Q. Terry Matalas is basically like, season 2 didn't happen. Like, let's pretend all the Q stuff, all the Borg stuff didn't happen in season 2. Let's just ignore that. And let's bring back Q. And also let's pretend that Girardi is not out there and she could have done something, maybe. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. And I don't mind that because I hated season 1 and season 2. So, I just think that this season was so much better. Yeah, that's my opinion. Mike liked season 1, season 2. I was like, oh, terrible.
They were heart-wrenching to watch.
Wow.
Some of those episodes were, overall, I loved the show, but there were some definitely disappointing aspects of season 1 and season 2. And, I think one of the things I think that I'm hoping that Patrick realized, because this season came about and how it did with the whole cast, that this is the season that we all wanted from season 1, really. And, but everything beforehand he was an executive producer from the start on this show. And this is what this is the journey he wanted to take Picard on. But I think, overwhelmingly, the fans are saying that this is the season that we wanted from the beginning.
Hey, but those other seasons had Star Trek in it, so it was cool.
Yeah.
Hey, it's got Star Trek in it.
Go ahead, Subrina. Tell us what you like.
Well, I'm going off the charts on whatever. Nothing that you guys said. What I loved about this season was the love that this guy has for the ships of the line. Thank you, Jesus. Somebody has some appreciation for the fleet, baby.
Yes,
they brought all my ships in here. I was sitting there like a little kid just crying. I was like, yeah. They brought the bounty up from San Francisco Bay. They sure did. They brought my Enterprise A. I'm like, please, Jesus. They had the Defiant. I'm like, even Voyager, baby. Voyager. Voyager was in there
in the background.
Damn, yes, they did. And they didn't blow up any ship that anybody that I loved was on. I mean, all those other ships that were out there. They even had a USS Uhura. Did you see that on the
I did.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you see they had the USS Pulaski?
Yep. They had the Norgay.
Oh,
the Norgay. Yeah. I was like, they named things. Wow. They didn't name it. Go ahead. Listen, Pulaski needs a name up this. He's another female doctor. Put her name up there.
That's right.
So yeah, I loved that. I loved the Titan. I loved, all of it. They had some great ships. Even the enemy ship, the Strike.
Yeah.
Damn, what the hell? That was wow. Yeah. I was scared to death when that thing came out. They were throwing ships around. I loved it. They were throwing ships. She threw a ship at them.
That was scarier than any Jem'Hadar ships we've ever seen,
The only thing that I really was hoping for that didn't happen was I was so hoping there was going to be a sausage separation. I wanted one so badly. When they were the only ship left, I said, they're gonna turn that ship into 2 ships. They're gonna come at them. I said, wow.
I don't think Jordy got to that part yet.
Nah, he didn't get that ready yet. He was like, what?
You're asking a lot.
I wanted it so badly. But yeah, I did love that they seem to have the love of the ships again, which I think sometimes people, especially in the Kelvin universe, which you've heard me say before, they really just seem to just want to trash the ships. But they always bring you home, and I just love that they brought the E back. Oh man, that was good. I love that. So that was my favorite thing. So okay. I hate to ask you, so what was your least favorite thing? Go the tirade. I'm going to start it with Yvette.
Oh, no. I have so much. But I'll try to not be petty.
Yeah, okay. Don't be petty and leave some for the other kids.
So the thing that I hated, and this actually went through all of Picard, is the fact that Picard got to use DS9 as a background. All that great writing for DS9, all that world building, and I remember all the disrespect that DS9 got because of because of TNG. TNG was the thing. DS9 was not. I watched it. I was there.
Right, we were there.
So to have Picard, especially, be have DS9 as, and that's what it was. DS9 was the backdrop of this show, and then to totally disrespect DS9 in every turn. The last season, the first thing we see, they go some confederation or something, and all of the DS9 characters, all of the alien DS9 characters are beheaded and put on stakes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we caught that mess.
Come on, really? Cisco's a general. They just name him, and and I'm like, wait, what is going on here? And then here comes the TNG crew. Don't think I didn't forget. And then they get to have DS9 as their backdrop. Now, during the Dominion War, we never knew where the D was. We never heard from the TNG.
Hello.
We knew they were, I think they were, no, the Borg wasn't yet. I think they were on Baku somewhere, getting young and stuff. So it is quite petty. I won't say that it's not, but it just gets to me that all that great writing, Michael Piller, Ira, they did all that great writing for a great show that never got its due because of TNG and the love of TNG, which we all have, but it just burned me that they got to use the storyline, the great storyline of TNG, of DS9. And never once, not once, did we see a DS9 character this whole season.
Nothing.
Yeah, I would have thought that we
Worf
would get
did
like
not
a cameo.
count.
No, Worf came from TNG. He did not come from DS9. That was not DS9.
I think Odo was the only other person. They didn't even name him.
Nope.
Right.
He said a friend, and then we saw a picture of him in his pot. That was it.
Didn't even nothing.
Didn't even mention him.
They could have brought Bashir in. They could have talked to Bashir about something. Because he's the one that found the virus.
Yes, right.
They didn't even bring him in, and it was like, okay,
didn't even mention him. Didn't even mention him.
No. So that's
so that really burned I mean, it still burns me.
Do you feel that they did that on purpose? Like that they left out the DS9 characters on purpose?
I don't know. I don't know those people, so I don't know what it was. But I mean, that's a huge slight, and it was the whole. It wasn't just this season. I mean, it was the whole. It was everything. It was the whole series. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what they were doing, but that's the way it seemed to me. It's what it felt to me the whole time. Last season, I just couldn't take it, and then this season, for them to have the changelings come, did they even mention I don't think they called them the Founders, but to have the changelings come, talk about the Dominion War, then have, Picard talk about all these things he did with the Herosians. And I was like, wait,
where were you with the Herosians? What? No.
We're putting him, it just seems like they had the TNG cast, Picard, he had to be part of everything. Like, those other people that saved the universe didn't matter, so that's what really got me. And that's, I tried not to. I wasn't going to even talk about it, but yeah, that's it. that's how I feel. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the season. The writing was great. It was predictable as hell, but it was still good writing. It was TNG. It was great. It was exactly what TNG is. Predictable, unpredictable at some points. The story was good. It got you engaged, but that's it. That's all it was for me. But I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched the season again, definitely.
Watch them all again.
Yeah. Give me more Trek. Bring it on. Bring it on.
All right, Mike, what was your least favorite thing?
That is a good question. I think, and actually it sort of ties into something that I wanted to ask you, Subrina, especially after listening to the last episode where, you talked with Paul and talked about script writing and all of that. I think that one of the things that I didn't like about this season was, and maybe even actually the whole series, is how they dealt with time. And maybe it's not as important in television these days. I don't know. For me, I like things to make logical sense. Like the time is passing that we have, the other thing, just to throw this in is like the whole thing about Discovery's interior doesn't make sense to me. And I hate that, like, especially growing up on, like the technical manuals. Like I like things to be kind of laid out and like orderly and kind of explained. And I feel like, in this season, since we're mainly talking about that, like I didn't really get a sense of how much time was passing. I felt like you could warp anywhere in like a minute, and they left the in episode 9 in Vox, they left Earth and went to Anatha Prime and picked up the D, and then by the beginning of the finale, they were back there, and basically the fleet had only started basically firing at space dock. I mean, it's just like
it drove me crazy too, Mike.
Yeah, it's just like
insane.
things have got to make sense. Like we're talking about light years of travel and stuff like that. So that's when I roll my eyes at like the science advisors on New Trek, and I love New Trek. Don't get me wrong. It's just a lot of things they make some things seem so real, and then other things they just let go. And like time just needs to make sense.
Yeah, they seem very lazy on time. Yeah, like they'll try to get everything else right, and then it's like time, because you know how I feel about timelines. And I was trying to figure out where the hell are we? What year is this?
Yeah. What year is this?
It was like 5 years ago, and then we were jumping back and forth in some pieces too.
It's been driving me insane. So this only like this is like a few months after last season. Because last season started like Mike, I need to know where I am. I need to know what year it is. What is going on? Especially when the first thing you see is the 25th century. Like we're in the 20th. So, okay. So weren't we the 25th century last season? And we were. So I didn't get that part. Because we were in the vineyard. So Stargazer, I think, was the first episode last season.
Mm-hmm.
And it was centered in the, so they were the grapes. They were doing the grapes, right? They were harvesting the grapes.
Yeah, they were harvesting.
So that was supposed to be 2401, harvesting grapes. So I don't know much about wine and harvesting grapes, but I thought grapes were harvested in the fall. So I was confused. So I looked it up, and I guess they can be harvested. I guess it's from the south of France. It could be harvested in February to April. So I'm going with that because it's the only thing that makes sense. Because I was like, this makes no sense.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
I can't. The time thing is no. I need to know.
I think what I really think, and you asked me first, Mike, about talking about writing, and I think one of the big complaints that they had about season 2 was that the pacing was too slow, and that they went over things over and over and over again. We felt like we were stuck in time. In season 2, it was like, are we still on the same day? So I think one of the things that I felt this season was doing was ramping up the pace. And I think that you kind of lost your timeline a bit in that effort to get everything in, because there was so much in these 10 episodes that sometimes, I really had to go back while I was watching. I had to, go back and watch it again, because I was like, wait, what did they just say? And, all this stuff was, blah, 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 blah. It was just going like horse's speed, just racing through. So I think that maybe it was a little overpaced. I mean, I got it. And I understand exactly what you're saying. I think they did sacrifice the clarity of how much time was passing, and that. But I get that. But I think that might have been one of the reasons why that they were really trying to. I think they could have actually used maybe a couple of more episodes. I mean, I think sometimes you're hindered with that 10 episode, but they're so expensive. But this one could have easily have gone to 12 and even 14. I would have been happy. I would have been happy if they'd slowed a couple of them down a little bit. But okay, so Johnson, what was your least favorite?
Yeah, I think one of my least favorite things about this season is definitely how there's still this fixation on the whole mystery box. And we got all the answers in episode 9. And it's just like, so I've talked to Mike about this repeatedly. It's just so unnecessary. It's like, you don't need to reveal everything the last episode. You can like trickle things out a little bit more. I feel that this season probably could have used a couple more episodes, but if given the choice, I would have probably like rejiggered a few things so that it flowed a little better and we get like more of a trickle. Like we got so much information in episode 9, and that was the one where I was like, okay, I don't think I got everything, because literally it was a massive information dump, because they feel they had to reveal everything at one time. I'm like, you can like have spaces out. We would have kept on watching. Like, it's not like we're going to all stop watching because you revealed everything. So I feel that they could have like just like spaced it out more. But I just feel that with these, honestly, with Picard and new serialized Trek, I think this season was a little bit more successful. I feel Discovery is really bad at this, personally. I just think that from a storytelling perspective, sometimes they're so fixated on keeping the secrets until the last minute. And it's like, oh my God, and then it becomes a slog because we're just waiting for the secrets to be revealed. It's like, when is it going to happen? So that was a little annoying, but, it wasn't. I'm glad that the last episode, it was long. So I feel we got enough breathing room to really understand the impact of all the secrets that were revealed in episode 9. So at least it gave us more of that versus like, got to wrap it up like right this second. But I do think that it could have been just more spaced out if, again, they could just get rid of this fixation of like not revealing all the secrets until the last minute. So I would say that was the thing that annoyed me the most. The other thing that honestly it really bugged me is, honestly, I know we had to do it, but it's like the Borg again, third season again, I just like,
well, you knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming. I kind of knew it was coming, but I think I was kind of in denial about it because I was like, they can't use them again. Like, like I feel like we already resolved this like 2 times. We resolve it one more time, like, and we even got some of it on like Prodigy, like, some of the Borg fallout from like the neurologic pathogen, whatever, yada, yada. And like, it's like, we got to keep on revisiting this, and how many times do we need to say that the Borg's over and like, or that,
and here they come again,
needs to reconcile his feelings. And it's like, oh my God, it's just like, we have to go back. And, yeah, I was reading a lot of the discourse on episode 8, and this is like right when they were gonna right when Deanna's gonna open the door or whatever, and people were saying it's the Borg. I was like, no, it can't be the Borg again. Like it can't be. It can't. They gone.
I was the same way. Yeah, I was really surprised by this. I thought, I really thought this was going to be a whole changeling thing, and that they somehow they did not make the connection to the Borg at all. I thought this was a total changeling revolution against Starfleet, and so I was really kind of surprised by the turn of events. And I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, they sprinkled it all throughout, and of course, you're hearing those things and they're nostalgic, but you don't realize that they're putting them in there for a reason. And I mean, obviously, with the first contact theme being so strong, which I love,
it was everywhere.
So I sort of feel stupid not putting that all together, but
that's that tells you also how good the story was. That if you weren't looking for it, you weren't going to see it. The story was good. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The story was good. But I mean, the first thing we saw was, of course we get to see Beverly, but she's listening to his log. Why? Right. Why is she listening to his log? And it's the Borg log, So I'm like, okay, we're doing this again. But I did think there were going to be something. I thought the changelings were going to have something else. I mean, they did, but I did think it was the changeling Borg thing. I also thought I wanted it not to be the Borg so bad that I also thought it was going to be the what's that from Sub Rosa?
The ghost, the candle ghost.
Well, it's not a ghost. It's not really. Why do people call it a ghost? It's not really a ghost. It's an alien.
It's an alien
who abused Beverly and her family for years. So I thought it was that. I thought it had something to do with that. Also,
that would be a twist.
I thought that would be a great storyline.
I wanted to dress up as a candle.
You would have been the only one.
No, but think about it. Because you're trying to figure out what's wrong with Jack, and you're like, well, his mother and his father. So is it a combination of both? And then with her having Wes, I was like, what kind of kids is she having? So it had to be something. So I just was hoping it wasn't the Borg again. I was just hopefully making.
Or I think Mike and I were throwing around the idea is Beverly really Beverly?
I did that too. Yeah.
Is she a changing but doesn't realize it? That would have been.
Yeah, I thought she was tragic. A changeling for a minute. Yeah,
that would have sucked, but it would have been really interesting. And then it's like the Borg again. God, and just in case people here don't know, the Borg's they're over now. They're really over now.
They're really dead.
I was hoping
now they're toast. In case that wasn't clear.
Sure.
I was hoping for the female changeling to come back and retribution. Cool. I was hoping it was going to be.
Cool. That's what I thought.
That would have been really cool.
I thought it was the 100. And they were all going to get
exactly. Our big hanging Chad.
That would have been really cool.
Chad, the 100 come back for retribution.
Yeah.
But
I thought that would have been.
Or we got the Borg.
Or even an alliance between the two where it was sort of equal, or, where it wasn't the Borg controlling it. It was, they were in cahoots with one another because they realized that they could take down Starfleet together. Mm-hmm. Better than they could apart, I would have liked to see, and Johnson pointed out, because I didn't really understand the wrap up in the finale, and I caught it today, Johnson. I caught that one line that Riker says, where he talks about Admiral Crusher and how she solved everything, and then he says, the changelings didn't kill everyone; they kept a lot of people alive, which I didn't catch the first time through. So,
I saw it.
So I really was hoping, if and the changelings can, we all love DS9. So, I mean, we know how bad of an enemy, how, evil and bad the Dominion is.
They're insidious.
They were not playing.
It showed you at the end how insidious they are, that she had to come. She made sure she came up with that, that catch to catch them in the transporters. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
she knew, we got to watch this one. The Borg, that's why I said the Borg wasn't, they did a good job of making them a little scarier again. Because I wasn't really scared. You know, they were scary, of course, in the beginning. You know, they scared the hell out of us. And then not so much. I mean, we saw them so much in Voyager, I wasn't scared of them anymore. Just like Janeway wasn't scared of them anymore.
Well, yeah, we had 7, and I mean, she's friends with us now.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Whatever.
But they were kind of scary. They were pretty scary when I watched First Contact the first time. But this time, yeah, they were kind of terrifying this time. You know, I honestly didn't know if we were gonna, if the Admiral was gonna live or not. You know, I didn't know if that was gonna be it, and he would. You know, it's his show, so I assumed that if anybody was gonna, you know, die or sacrifice himself, it would have been him. But then I remember Comic-Con with you can always count on Jonathan Frakes for spoiling stuff. Jonathan Frakes, I caught him saying, once this is over, we're gonna get ourselves a movie, and I was like, oh, then nobody's dying then. I was like, okay,
wow.
thanks,
I
Jonathan.
remember that now. I remember that now, but I had forgotten it. So I really watched the finale completely blank slate. I hadn't heard anything about it. I hadn't, you know, those people who got to see it early, I didn't like hear anything. And so I went into it, and I actually felt like in the finale, the stakes were high. Like I really did feel the first time through that this was the end of the crew. Absolutely. Like I bought it. And maybe I'm just that kind of audience where I just, kind of suspend my disbelief.
I think they did a good job
in trouble.
of making you think of that. I think they did a great job because it could have went anyway.
All is lost. That was the all is lost part of the show.
I mean, when they were in the center of that Borg cube and they were going to blow it, I didn't think anyone was going to get out alive. And I thought
somebody was going to die.
We'd just see that explode. Well, I thought that at that point, all of them were going to, although it did have vibes of
never
of Return of the Jedi, the Millennium Falcon shooting out of the Death Star. You catch that last scene of the Borg ship breaking up, but I really felt like they could have. They were all forfeit, and actually the way that they played it, the way that they acted it, it made it feel that way.
Yeah,
like the looks between him, Deanna and Riker, like. Yeah. They were saying about I felt that. I was like, she knows he's not coming back. Yeah. And and Picard saying goodbye on the bridge, saying it's been an honor to serve with you. Like I figured he wasn't coming back. So, other than the fact that Jack was on the Borg ship and, because we hear so much about legacy, you kind of knew that he could possibly have survived, but I felt that the stakes were high, and I wasn't sure that anyone was gonna get out. So
it's good writing.
Well,
yeah.
What I hated most.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sabrina, what about you?
Is the
ships of the line? Did you hate those?
No, I love the ships of the line. No, that was listen. Don't mess with my ships. I love my ships.
Oh, no. Johnson and I love our ship porn.
Well,
with the exception of Discovery, we love ships. So.
Oh, I love that ship too. Oh man, when that thing goes to black alert, you stay back. What? Oh my God, I love that.
Oh, I like that. Just the partisan insides of Discovery.
Love it. Love every bit of it. But okay, what really got me about this, and I said to myself, and I wrote a post about this. Y'all saw it when it first started, and I'm gonna say I felt like Discovery is the LSU of Star Trek. They are the Angel Reese of freaking Star Trek, because this show was so much Discovery second season that I was getting really upset that everyone just thought this was the best thing since sliced freaking bread. And I'm like, you already saw this on Discovery. But wait, what? We had a scary red thing coming out of somebody's head. I said, yep, did that. Then they would go into this impenetrable station that no one knew how to fly into, where the crazy AI was. I was like, yeah, we did that in Discovery. We had multiple captains sitting on the bridge. Bing, got that too. We had imposters aboard. I'm like, that's sounding familiar. We had a beloved female officer blow her ass up to save the ship. Ro, meet the Admiral. Admiral, meet Ro. And then we had the existential threat, which, of course, everybody got mad when Michael saved the whole universe, but if Picard's got to save the whole universe, I heard the line, if Earth goes, it all goes. I was like, oh, come the frick on. I said, April, I can't see you. I can't see you. Angel. I'm doing the move. I'm pointing to the ring. 3rd season, 2nd season. So that's all I have to say. I'm just like, look, the assistant did it, everybody got upset, but Picard did it, everybody thought it was brilliant. That's all I'm going to say. And the only other thing I really hated about this was when the freaking Q showed up, I lost my shit. I was like, if it's not the freaking Borg, we're going to come up with Q. And he said, oh, I'm here to test you. I'm like, oh, no. Please.
And when I saw that, I forgot who said it, but it was like they just said, okay, season 2 didn't happen.
Right. It's like fuck season 2. It's like whatever.
Oh my God. But I'm
saw
here to
him,
tell
I
you.
was like, are you kidding? I mean, it was going so well.
It was.
and then
like,
because that wasn't necessary.
Just let them play poker and be.
Right.
Yes,
What was the
just
point
let
of
them
that?
play
Just
poker
let
and
it
go out.
There was so many things that there was really no point. And that was one of them. And then, I mean, why bring Ro back just to kill her? What was the point of Ro coming back? There was no point.
I like that, actually. I liked her. I liked that episode.
But she made no difference to the story.
Oh, no, she gave him all the information.
Yeah, but somebody else could have. I mean, we got two people in we had 2 people who were out there. I mean, we got Section 31.
We could have had somebody from Deep Space
Nine. People. We got them.
We could have had Major Kira bring them the information. That would have been good.
But I mean, we had Rafi and Worf.
Yeah.
They could have just given the information. I mean, why? Just to kill them?
Just to kill her. And you know what? I have another. This is my other thing about the ships of the line. As soon as I saw the Intrepid, I said, oh, they're dead.
They're dead.
The poor Intrepid is like a doomed ship. Yeah. If the Intrepid shows up, all lives are lost. And as soon as I saw it, I said to myself, they're going to blow the ship up. If you get the Intrepid C, hold on to your ass. You're going to be dead.
Why do they keep making that ship?
That is like one of those names of a ship that you should just never see again. Never. Along with the hood. Although they did rectify the Defiant. They brought the Defiant back and they gave that ship. That was now a storied ship, but the poor Intrepid.
So the Defiant is the only character from DS9 that was actually on and
the
named?
actor got on here.
And named.
Y'all making me upset.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, listen, I was really. Okay. The other thing I hated was when they did the whole bridge scene. What can we say it together? That
what's that?
Starfleet security is trash.
Ooh,
I mean, how
trash.
did they?
Pure trash.
Oh my God!
Pure
how
trash.
did you take over that bridge
that
fast? Everybody was shaking in their boots.
I mean,
at
first, so there was one scene when I was like, Starfleet, yes, Starfleet security.
Come on.
Jack was running. He wanted to get to the bridge. The guy turns around, goes, "We're at red alert. Turn back." And he did. He turned back. I was like, yes, finally, Starfleet security, yes. And it didn't last long.
But I'm telling you, they took over that bridge in 2 seconds. I said, oh, God. Then they did Air Force One, and I was like, okay, fine. Everybody was like, oh, it was just the greatest scene. I was like, y'all didn't see Air Force One? That was the exact same scene.
There was a lot of stuff in there I've seen before.
Well, hey, after talking to Paul last week,
right,
said,
exactly.
Right,
I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I said, I thought of Paul when I said I was getting ready to say,
too.
you do an Air Force One. I said, well, they must love Air Force One because they're being inspired by Air Force One.
And that's what I thought of. That's when Paul said that, because I was, I've been feeling this way about the DS9 thing since the start, ever since season 2. And when he said that, I was like, all right, I guess it's, I could be petty, but other people could see it as a homage
Yes.
to DS9.
Paul had great effect on us.
But why aren't there any people from DS9 on there? But okay, let's leave it.
Okie dokie.
I'm going to leave it.
All right. So now we're going to move on. The third thing in our outline, I don't even know how we can even do this one. What was your biggest shock, your biggest reveal? Come on, there's got to be one thing that made you go, oh, damn.
It wasn't that big of a deal because I can't remember.
You already knew it was the Borg. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I did, unfortunately.
I had a little one.
Go ahead.
I loved it. This was a really little one, but when I saw him, I went, oh, damn. It was the guy that plays Kryn, and his name is Kirk Acevedo. He was in like Fringe, and he was in Arrow. And when I saw him come on as the Vulcan gangster, I was like, oh, damn. All right. I love that guy. I love him. That was a great appearance. I mean,
I'm rewatching Fringe, by the way. Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. He was in there. Yeah, he was Ricardo Diaz in Arrow. So all my Arrow fans, I came into Arrow really late. I love Arrow. And so I was really psyched when he came on. That was a great performance, and I wanted to just call him out because I loved Kryn.
I don't have any big reveals, but there were a lot of little things I liked about this. I liked that. So I did watch a little bit of season 2, and Mariposa was actually.
Why did you do that to yourself?
Because it's Star Trek, and I watch everything that is Star Trek. I only watched it all once, but still. So Beverly's ship, or where they're from, or whoever they work for, was the Mariposa Alliance or something, and that was Rios's thing that he put together in 24th century. Yeah. Wow. So I love that continuity. That was pretty cool. There was some other stuff, but I always loved that. I was like, that was so good.
I didn't even catch that.
Right.
I didn't either.
Of course, the first one I watched a lot. I watched it because, Beverly was in it. And I was like, this is probably the only time I'm going to be able to see her. And because I just knew that was going to be it. I just was at the point where I was like, we'll see her the first, and then we'll never see her again because she was in the fridge next time we see her. I didn't think she was getting out of there. So I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was like watching episode 1 over and over again. I think there was what I liked about it was that how smart it was. There was a lot of smart Star Trek going on here. The things, even though there was a lot of shiny objects when it came to the what do they call it, the Easter eggs, they made sense. A lot of times, like last season, those Easter eggs made no sense at all, but just to be there. But here, most of the Easter eggs made a lot of sense, and you had to find a lot of them. Like everybody's show had everybody's favorite movie, everybody's favorite show had something. Some show or each movie, each show was mentioned somewhere, and depending on what kind of fan you were of each show, you probably figure it out. And I like that part of it. That was really good. And I thought the writing was really good. Like I said, it was a great TNG episode. TNG has a lot of issues, believe me. But they have really good episodes that stay with you. And I think they did a good job here with this. Even though of everything I said about how much I didn't like it, there was so much I did like about it.
Yeah.
I'm happy, I'm happy they did it. I like we all said, I wish this was, I wish they would have done it a lot sooner, but we got it now. So.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I really liked was just the constant guessing I had about who, once we realized that it was the Changelings, it was really like they played, like when Ro came on, and I love Ro, I still, Ro was going to be Kira on Deep Space Nine. So, I really like that dynamic. And so that whole episode, I'm sitting there thinking, she's acting really weird, is she a changeling? And like, is she here to like, actually kill Picard or, that's one example. But then thinking that Beverly could possibly be the changeling throughout this whole season was also really, and even Gates was, playing it a little bit coy on the interviews she did. She was like, wait to the end of the season, wait to the end of the season. So you kind of kept that thought alive that what would happen. And then you see Tuvok and he's a changeling. And
oh wait, I forgot that one. That was a good one. That was my big. Oh, that was. Yeah. I mean, actually, that whole scene with Jerry and Tim was just amazing. The way she was testing him, and then she thought it was fine, and then she, played this one more thing, and then she knew. So I loved that. I also, this sort of falls into the not big fan. I'm not sure I like the new changelings. I mean, maybe it's just because of the technology that they have now, but I didn't really love the way that they're more like stodgy, or when they're in liquid form, or they're like, I don't know. It wasn't very Odo-esque, is what I'll say. And because these are messed up
kind of smooth. Yes,
they're not
obviously
the same changelings as Odo. They were science experiments,
Yeah, these are Vidian looking changelings.
Right. Exactly.
That's true.
I want to give a shout out to the production people who did the makeup and the renderings and however they made this thing look, because this show looked fantastic. I mean, from the Borg cube to all the ships to, the scene that almost made me cry was when Space Dock blew up. I was like, no, it just blew up. I said, they are doing a great job of really just making you feel like, the last show of second season of Discovery where they blew all the ships, but they really did. They really made it look fantastic. And I thought the changelings were great looking. I was disappointed that they stopped being changelings and then they turned into Borg. That got me because I liked them trying to find the changelings. Yeah. And when they went up into here's my other thing. Why on earth would you call the changelings onto your ship? But like, if you're gonna, I said, you're gonna.
I don't even understand that.
I didn't understand it.
The plan?
This is the plan.
He had a lot of bad plans.
Oh my God! Because even when you did it in the 100,
can we stop asking the admiral for the plans?
Don't give him any more.
He don't even know
how the ship works.
Deep space was still available. He knows space stations that was still. I'm like, come on, y'all should have left his ass.
I said, didn't you see the 100? You did this on the 100, and the man got away from you on the 100. I mean, he got away from you then when you did this mess with this freaking. I was like, okay, I'm gonna roll back TNG. It didn't work then either.
But then it was also annoying because like they didn't vaporize anyone. They were just like, oh, let's shoot them and leave them alone. And like
only Worf, he was the only one that vaporized them.
Only Rafi and Worf could vaporize, or like in the previous episode, Jack killed changelings just by, I don't know, breaking their necks and like just shooting them in the head, and they were fine. They didn't get need vapor. It's just not. It wasn't consistent. So it was kind of not. There was that one. That there's a little bit of continuity issue right there.
God.
I figured out what my biggest shock of the season was.
Okay.
So
wait, I need to go. I haven't gone yet.
Go.
Let me go.
Go ahead.
Okay. For me, so 2. So Ro, for me, that was a big shock. I was like, and then I do think it was sad that she died. But I was like Mike was saying, Ro, I really like Ro. I thought that her whole relationship with Picard was kind of left on a cliffhanger. So I kind of like that they got that catharsis at the end. When Picard at the end, right before Ro sacrificed herself, he was like, I do see you. I was like, I feel something. Do I? So that was really nice.
Because he was still mad when she walked on their ship.
But and the other thing that I think was I would say not a big reveal, but it was a pleasant surprise was how much I became a really big fan of Captain Shaw's character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
I need to get something in.
We have not mentioned him at all, and he needs a big
We
mention.
haven't.
But oh my god, the hollow message in episode 10 where he leaves it for to Tuvok and then to Seven. I was like, oh my god,
and that was before all this happened, right?
It was before, and I was like, oh my god, am I feeling something again? Because that was genuinely like in episode 10 one times I really was like, oh man, like the message was it felt genuine, and Jerry Ryan did such a great job kind of reacting to it. Fantastic acting. She didn't say anything, but just her facial expression of like reacting to the message that isn't even there because they're adding it post-production. I was like, this is amazing, but I became a really big fan of Captain Shaw. Like, that was a really pleasant surprise for me because I didn't like hate him. I think Mike like really disliked him. I was like, oh, it's kind of annoying, but I didn't expect to like really like him by the end, and that was great.
Mean, he was right from the beginning. I mean, he was basically Benjamin Sisko, but
hello.
Right.
No, he was totally Benjamin Sisko.
Mean, okay, but yeah, so I liked him. He was right from the beginning. I was like, Picard would have never let anyone come on his ship with that nonsense. That would have never flown. So yeah, he was right, and I truly enjoyed his character.
He had the best lines.
He really did. He
had the best lines.
He really did.
When he said somebody hot drop the sausage section. The sausage
the shade he was throwing.
There's a lot of shade. Dang. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love.
Why you didn't like him from the beginning? He just irked you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I mean, for me, like my favorite thing of this series really was, Picard and Riker.
Oh, right.
And Beverly. Right. So he was so disrespectful to Picard and Riker right off the bat.
Not Beverly, though. He wasn't disrespectful to Beverly at all.
Yeah, no. So that's that's why I didn't like him.
I do think that Picard and Riker were kind of out of line. Like he took another level in terms of the disrespect, but
they were definitely out of line.
They're out of line,
Hey, I tell you though.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't know that Picard was like, I have to go save Beverly. I mean, we knew, we understood that, but Shaw didn't know what the hell that was. All he saw was this Lucutus guy walking in. Trying to take
that's right.
Bullshit.
He was
kind of going with it until Picard didn't know where the hell they were going. He was he was telling them they're going to some star base, and that star base didn't even exist anymore. And he was like, no, I don't think we're doing that.
And eventually Picard got his ass killed, so the man was right. But I want to say, because I have to bring it in there. He went down like Major Hayes in Enterprise. Okay, he was shooting so that they all could get away. I had to get Enterprise in there. He went down. I felt just as bad when he died as when Major Hayes died.
It definitely was the same scene.
Of course it was.
I'm thinking back.
I remember.
But someone else's take on it. It was a homage. It was another home. It was
like almost the same lines. Major Hayes was like, get Hoshi back to the ship.
Right. It sure was. Oh my goodness.
I was like, who's going to be Major Hayes here? Because one of them's going to go. I thought it might be Raffi. It was going to be Raffi. I was going to be really mad.
No, it wasn't going to be Raffi.
Couldn't be Raffi.
Knew better. They knew better.
No, they sure did.
They knew better. No, we ain't killing no more black people.
No,
that's the end of that.
I wanted to call out.
The first person died on this whole series was they killed that black guy. I was like, dang, the first
Here we go. I was like, they're ramping up again. This show here.
They kill everybody on this show.
Man.
But can we please give a big shout out to the best villain that Star Trek has seen in a very, very long time, Amanda Plummer. My goodness.
I didn't love Amanda Plummer.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
She was too extra for me.
That's what I loved. I loved that extra, the drama, the extra, just the flamboyancy,
just
her
like
physicality.
her
when she was
father.
telling people to move along, she was swinging around in the chair. I was like,
yeah, I feel Mike and I
this is how
would
a crazy person would act.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, like, yeah, she's like,
I love
very
her
unbalanced.
Lines.
Yes.
Yeah. Her lines were wonderful, especially at the end. Her last line was fucking, what she said, fucking solids.
Fucking solids. No, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Mike and I were as in love with her, but I get it. I get it.
I really was. I was not devastated, but I wasn't happy when they killed her. I was like,
oh, Mike and I were like,
he could have been a real. I really wanted it to be the changelings.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That was it.
It was easier, but it was so easy. It was easier to kill the Borg. It was easier to have Picard, because that's his thing. I get that. Bringing the changelings was really good because it pushed you off not thinking about the Borg so much. Because eventually, if they weren't there, we would have all said, "Oh, it's the Borg.
It's the Borg.
Yeah, it's the Borg." So,
right.
But I mean, they're so sinister that they've always been a very scary villain, because you just don't know who's who. And now that they've got this extra thing now, and as we've seen in the end, they were still trying to get in,
Right.
So we still got them. The Borg might be gone,
but the changeling
gone. I got my air quotes going.
Oh my God.
But the changelings are still persistent. They're still very persistent. So,
and we still don't know where the 100 are.
We still don't know where the 100 are. I just knew it was the 100. I just knew they had something to do with it, because that was a hanging chad out there.
Yeah.
So,
but one thing I was really glad to see was Picard, that Jack really was his son, and that he did get to reconcile with him. Yes. Because I went back and watched Bloodlines, the one with Jason Vigo, where Picard thought that was his son. And, I watched it again today, and he was so sad when Beverly told him that boy was not his son. And I just, watching it now after knowing that Jack is really his son, it was just really touching to watch his face when Jason Vigo transports off. Like he says, come visit me sometime. Like he's like, you're not really my son.
Yeah.
So that one, I was really glad that Jack was his son and that he was going to stay in his life. So I was glad he finally got
I totally forgot about that episode. I thought about
Bloodlines.
Last Duty or the First Duty. I can't remember what the name of that episode was, when Wesley left and they went on.
Last
Duty.
The Final Duty.
Final Duty or something like that. So I always remember that as Picard saying, "Okay, you're going to leave, but you're coming with me on this last." And it's so out of character for Picard, and it shows you how much he loves Wesley. Mm-hmm. And that's what I thought of, and because, Wesley's Beverly's son. So I remember that, how he, he was sad he was going to die because he wasn't going to be able to see Wesley anymore. And how Wesley was like, "You're not," that was such a great father-son type of thing,
He longed for it. He
always longed for that.
Even when he went in the Nexus, he had the kids.
Right.
Yep, he sure
kids,
did.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. But everything kept him away from it, because he could have had it. He could have had all of that. Beverly was there waiting.
Right.
Obviously. But, it is what it is. I mean, he's just so complicated. I think one of the parts I love that they did not. So I did for a long time wish they would have got together. Beverly and Picard, especially after Attached. I can't even watch that episode anymore because it's so ridiculous. It's great until the end. You're like, what? Kidding me?
Come on.
Right. So now I like the way they ended it. And I like the storyline that they gave them, because I think it just made more sense. She would leave to save her son.
When Picard said, "You did everything right," mm-hmm. I know he was talking about the fact that she didn't tell him. Because
definitely.
Yeah, he was like, "I get it. I totally get it."
Because she was getting ready to say, I'm sorry again.
Right, she was gonna.
And, but I also love the fact that every time he was trying to wallow in something that happened with Jack that he, like when he thought he gave him how you say Aromatic syndrome. He was getting ready to wallow. She goes, instead of wallowing in your pity, go talk to your son. And she just kept like, nope, don't give me that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear your guilt. I don't want to hear any of it.
But she did the same thing in Bloodlines. You need to go back and watch that episode because she did the same thing. Because he was going to say, I should have been in Jason Vigo's life. You know, he wouldn't have been a criminal. And she said, don't go back to the past. Be in his life now. And I was like, okay, they all watched this episode with Jack.
Jeez.
But that's why Beverly should have gone with
Bloodlines.
That's why Beverly should have gone with Jean-Luc to talk to Jacques when they found out that he was Borg or whatever, because the conversation between Jean-Luc and Jack, like he just could not, he was too,
he couldn't handle that.
He couldn't handle it, and he was too mired in his guilt, right, to be a father in that moment, which is what drove Jack away. But if Beverly was there, I feel that it would have turned out different.
Totally different. But she's also dealing with guilt. Sure. Trying to make sure that he has all this time with him. And the guilt. And I mean, TNG is so about fathers and sons and brothers, parents who don't do the right thing and kids who, brothers and brothers mostly that don't get along. So, I mean, it tracks, it tracks on all the stuff. Like she said, this was basically Bloodlines, which I have to go back and
I have to go back.
I'm just here to tell you, I have watched all of TNG too, even though I said,
oh yeah, definitely. But I totally forgot about Bloodlines.
Oh yeah, this is Jason Vigo, but this time he's really the son.
Wow.
And he was having seizures and falling out too. I mean, good Lord.
Sure was.
He sure was. Listen.
Jeez. So you know what? Maybe I'm not not admiring this as much as I thought.
No, I loved the whole thing. I think this is one of those ones when you watch all 10 together and just let go and be inspired by whoever they're paying homage to, or the Easter eggs and whatever they're copying. And what I loved it. I mean, I'm going to let go of the slight to Deep Space Nine. I'm going to, let it go because it works for me. I enjoyed it. I'm telling you, when they brought the Enterprise out, I was in tears. I was like, yes. Oh, yes. We're getting on here. We're going to save the universe.
When you heard Majel's voice, that was it. I was done.
I was done. I just saw her name in the credits. Amazing. Oh, what about when you heard Walter Koenig's voice? I was happy.
I was like,
that was cool.
Check off.
Yeah, I knew. As soon as you heard it, you were like, oh. Anton
Chekhov. Wow.
Anton Chekhov, president of Earth. Like, yes, okay, I like it. I'll give you that one.
So cool.
That was.
I do want to say, like, to your point about fathers and sons. I think, and Johnson and I share a journey with our fathers. So I think that's something that's really true out there, is that there are, father and sons have complicated relationships, especially when you're different, right? So, and Jack says it more than once, several times throughout the series. He says, throughout the season, he says, I feel different. And like that to me really attached at least my heart to Jack in that way, and realizing that, I'm observing a picture of the relationship between my dad and myself in a way. And the just the way that he speaks to feeling different throughout his whole life, like that speaks to the LGBTQ really hard.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I feel like really, attached to like, and you see that in Riker. Like Riker feels so guilty. And Thad has been dead for a few years, for a while, and that father's guilt just is still there, and the fact that that Deanna and him are still having relationship problems because of that. And that they stayed in a house where neither of them were happy because of that. And then they had to be in dire straits to actually come clean about that and say that they both hated that house, but they stayed there because they wanted to be close to that. I mean, there was so much of that in this. Yeah. But that really, I don't know, that those are some of the subtexts that I caught on to and really touched me. I
thought that was great. And what I liked about this whole season was that all of these little subplots that were going on tied to the main story somehow. You know, a lot of times, like, you know, we had Rios running around with that woman and, you know, why he was talking. There was just all this stuff going on in the other season that didn't tie to anything. And why was this in here? Is this going to have anything to do with the story? But, you know, the whole thing of Riker feeling so guilty and driving him to do things or not do things was good. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Like when they were arguing about what to do on the bridge, that was such a great scene. He was like, Picard was saying one thing and Riker was saying something else. And oh my God. Okay, wait a minute. When the Nebula gave birth, listen. I loved that part.
The space babies.
The space babies. I forgot about that. And Beverly was like, wait a minute. Beverly figured it out. And she
figured everything out. I loved it. I loved that she was sciencing the shit out of everything.
They were going to catch that wave and ride it out. I was like, oh my God, who wrote this one? Somebody's pregnant in the writer's room and wrote this one. I love
there were a lot of women in the writer's room.
There had to be a woman that wrote that because that was just incredible. And I loved every friggin' minute of that.
It was really
and they looked like little mini aliens from Farpoint.
Yeah.
So you know,
that's what I was saying. Everybody's series had a little something.
Yep,
it was a little nugget from everybody's little series and movie. So
it was great.
Another thing about why I wish they had more episodes was because if they had made the changelings more of a, because at one point Justin and I talked about this. You know, if the changelings were in fact the main enemy, and I hadn't really, this is before I really put together the Borg piece of it, but they would have had to, you know, I thought they were going to have to go back to Deep Space Nine and then through the wormhole and to the Founders Planet. And then they weren't going to be able to do that. Not unless they had Discovery's spore drive and could snap there or whatever and then get back. But, you know, there was just, that's where I thought I was really hoping that we would kind of see like a detour to Deep Space Nine, like an episode that would, you know, take us there. And maybe one of the Deep Space Nine crew would take us into the wormhole and take us to the Founders Planet. And they would, even if they just had done that, thrown that in there somehow and not thrown it in, but, you know, put it in there intentionally where we could touch base with Deep Space Nine, I think would have been great. But also to go to the Founders Planet and maybe even them saying that's not us.
Right.
Like we actually hate you, but we are saying.
And I had those feelings too. I thought they were the ones that were going to come save the day. You know, the founders were going to come and say, nope, we're not crazy about you, but this is not what we're doing. We said we're going to have peace. And these are like rogue people who are not, you know, these are the 100 that, you know, the teenagers that are rebelling, you know, that's what I thought they were going to be. And I thought that would be a really good baddie, but, you know, it is what it is. It would have been great, but in the long run, would it have really made sense for Picard, you know? It had to be about him. I had to keep reminding myself that the show is called Picard. In the end, he is the one that is going to save the day because it's his show. And we all know how Patrick Stewart is. So he's not letting everybody. He is number one on that call sheet.
He read that script and said, the changelings, I think we should have the Borg come back. And they were like, oh, okay, Patrick.
I do think that everyone did get their moment to shine, though. Like, you know, I think that it's definitely Star Trek Picard. You know, he's going to have a heavy hand in how it all comes together. But everyone, even in the last episode, everyone got a moment.
I agree. But I keeping the Borg and not having the changelings be, you know, the baddie or the who you're going to fight against. It didn't make sense for Picard to do that it made sense for him to fight the Borg.
Right.
Even though I'm rolling my eyes when Deanna opened the door, and I was like, oh, God. But it is, it was a scary Borg. That was one little scary Borg cue.
It was a great scene.
I was like,
it was a great scene.
Yeah.
That's a scary one, so.
And she
like
just
I said,
shut that door and ran. I was like,
she said, "Oh, Jack, just sit right here. I'll be right back." I didn't talk to your parents.
and Seven was on it. Oh no, we got protocols. I said, thank you, Seven.
Oof, man. Oh my god.
So I liked it. I give it a thumbs up myself. So
I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
1 thumbs up out of 5. Only joking.
Out of 5.
Just joking. No, a thumbs up. Definitely a thumbs up.
This is one I will definitely watch again. Run through it, go back, and I know there's so much that I missed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great dialogue, and it's just they picked scenes to be inspired by that I loved before, so it's great.
Right, exactly. Before we leave, I wanted to ask everybody, what was your favorite episode out of the season?
I'm trying to think of.
Everybody's like, everybody was like the emoji, the thinking emoji.
Mine was the one where when Shaw says that he was just a grease monkey, and they go down there to fix that thing. He's pulling those conduits apart. He's going to get that thing working. I was like, yeah, we need like a Scotty moment up in here.
That was so good.
I loved that episode when they were trying to cut. They were falling into the nebula. I think that was it. That one.
Which one was? Anybody remember?
They were falling.
Episode 3, I think.
Yeah, they had to get.
Is that 17 seconds?
I think so. They had to get the nacelles firing again. Yep. I was like, oh my God.
That was
the birth one. That was the birth one.
That was early on. Yeah, I was like,
that was my favorite episode.
Y'all got me. You got me.
Yeah, that one was good. So we got to really see. I think that's when we really got to see Vadic a lot, right? I think that's when we first. Really
I think she got right.
A lot.
Yeah.
And that was everybody. So there was a lot of pairing in that scene, in that episode. Like everybody got paired up. I love that part. Yeah, that was the come to the light scene with Beverly and Jean-Luc. I was like, here we go. Parents are fighting in the back room.
The parents are...
That was my favorite one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was really hard to pick just one. Go ahead, Johnson, if you know.
Oh, I was going to say it's. I think for me, probably the last episode was my favorite, only because I think everything just came together, and we got so much resolution, and we got the Enterprise G. Like,
G, that's right.
We didn't talk about that.
That's right.
It had a love.
That was the first prediction that I was right on about. I was
it makes sense timing wise. It totally made sense for. I actually was surprised that there wasn't a G already. Like, timing wise, given the life cycles of these ships, like they don't last that long. But
not the way these people fly them.
Yeah, no. But I think
see an Enterprise.
I think the last episode for me, just because everyone had their moment, we got all that reconciliation, and it just, there were a lot of feel good moments, I think. Yeah. And then of course we had the them playing poker at the end. Yeah.
Perfect.
That was just so great.
Although I have to say, if Picard was sitting at the cookout, we would have to throw him out if he's going to deal the cards like that.
Oh.
He was tossing those cards.
So he's just tossing cards?
Yeah, I noticed that.
He's tossing cards. I said, you cannot come to the cookout, Picard, because you're
ass. You tossing no cards, sir.
Give me those cards.
Somebody else deal. Go ahead, Mike.
What's a British dealer? What the hell is that?
Yeah. I would probably have to agree with Johnson. I think The Last Generation would be my, I literally shut off everything and just shut off the lights and put it on the big screen and just watched it all the way through and just like realized every emotion I was feeling. I had goosebumps. I was sad. I was crying. I was like, heck yeah. I was screaming at one point. Like I was all over, like I would have to say, I mean, I love the whole season. I think it's a 10-hour movie, a 10-hour post Nemesis movie that that the cast really deserved.
Yeah.
But I think that I really felt it all with the final. Because honestly, like I said earlier, I thought that I thought we were going to cut to Raffi and Steven and be like, oh,
No.
like, and when everybody switched back, and I thought, that was it, like we were going to go back and they were going to go and explore and, find remnants of the D or whatever and be like, so it kind of had, it had a sad ending, but I'm totally pumped that it had the ending that it did. But I
did not think anyone was going to die, because you know what the problem was? Jonathan Frakes. So I know we mentioned Jonathan Frakes. It's always Jonathan Frakes.
Always.
He had an interview last week. I think it was Trek Movie. He was like, so nobody dies. I'm like, oh my God. He literally said nobody dies.
Yeah.
I was like, got it.
This is why I didn't read anything.
He said it.
He was trying to lower the threat level. He was the anxiety level.
Him to talk about episode 9, and he just put it out there. Like, they didn't even ask him.
He spoiled a whole bunch of stuff. I think he spoiled something in the first season, right? Jerry Ryan is like the only person I would give her state secrets. No one knew she was coming.
Yeah.
No
right,
one.
That's right. That was a surprise. That was big.
Yeah. Jonathan Frakes spilled everything but that. I was like,
random point, but I need to make it.
Go ahead.
I'm like, so Steven is the captain of the G.
Thank you.
And Raffi is her first officer. Isn't there like a weird
what's happening? And
then HR?
And then how is his name Picard now?
I thought that's what I was asking.
Jack Crusher.
But how is he on the bridge of the ship?
He's a counselor.
He's a counselor, and now
the Raffi thing bothered me. I was like, where's HR? HR needs to
It was a year later.
It was HR.
That it was a year later. But
it was a year later.
And I mean, everybody has the correct rank to do what happened. Because I mean, Raffi was the lieutenant commander or commander. She was lieutenant commander. Yeah. So a year later, she could be commander. I didn't see any pips.
I didn't see any problem with that
because she had all the hair going. I was like, "Go ahead, Raffi. The hair is out." I was like, "Woo, yes, get it out." I loved it. But yes, I thought it was cool, and I wish they would have let us know what Seven said.
Oh, me too.
I love that.
Yeah.
But I love
that they didn't, but I really want to know what it is now. I want to know.
Too.
Tell me. All right, guys. Thank you for coming. Let us know how to find you on social media, and tell us about Deep Space Pride real quick.
Yeah, I can tell everyone our social handles. If folks want to reach out to us, they can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Deep Space Pride, or they can reach us via email at deepspacepride@gmail.com. But Mike, did you want to talk a little bit about our podcast and what we're all about?
Yeah, sure. It's we are up to episode 108. Just came out with Kelvin Wood, who was actually on the cruise. So we got a great perspective on the cruise. And actually, for the first time, I think we were both like, maybe this cruise is a thing. But so we talked Trek and from a gay LGBTQIA perspective. And we're actually trying to bring on more people to have conversations with, and just meet other fans and other podcasters who are in the LGBTQIA space. So, Yes.
They're a great podcast. They're great people. They're our family from the Trek Geeks Network. So take a listen. We love them dearly. And thank you for coming on and talking Trek with us, talking Picard.
This was a lot of fun. It's always great to hang out with you, ladies.
Yes. We love you guys. All right.
We love you.
You can find us at sci-fisisters.com. That's SYFYSISTAS.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the Sci-Fi Sisters Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram and TikTok, sci-fi.sisters. We are also on that Twitter at Sci-Fi Sisters. Become a patron of Sci-Fi Sisters today at patreon.com/Sci-Fi Sisters. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And we want to give a shout out to the best sound engineer that there is, Dose, the Anonymous One. So if you have any sound things that you need or music, please contact him. He does all of our music intros and outros, and you know that sounds bad. And so you can reach him at Dose, the Anonymous, the number 1 at gmail.com. That's DOSTheAnonymous, the number 1 at Gmail. So get in touch with him, and he will fix your podcast up like he does ours.
Have a good one, everybody.
Peace, love, and hair grease.